Cool. Hey everyone, welcome back to the 8th episode of the Music by the Month recap series. Basically, same as usual, the end of the month, I'm going to go back through the project, the song that I released, and just sort of give some of the behind the scenes of sort of what I did to create it, and just sort of do the ideas that went into it. And yeah, this is August, pretty sure, 8th month. So yeah, it's the 8th song, and let's go straight back into the project. Alright, so in terms of the theme and ideas that went into this one, once again carrying on from the previous one where this character landed on this new planet and sort of explored around a little bit. Right at the end they sort of saw something out in the distance, and now this is sort of exploring sort of what happens next. And the idea for this is it was sort of meant to be this character inside of this sort of futuristic sort of city type environment that they possibly, haven't seen before, or it's sort of just very foreign. And I sort of wanted to have it very upbeat, fast-paced, and sort of a little bit chaotic, just to sort of show what they might be feeling in this environment. So I sort of had this synth riff that sort of continues at the start and sort of dies, and then it sort of comes back in a little bit at the end. And it's sort of the main idea of this, and it follows a very simple chord progression that sort of moves up. It's a 1-1-4-5, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And sort of that's sort of the idea for the whole piece. It sort of follows that. And it's a very uplifting, sort of fast-paced groove. And I think the chord progression works really well with that. Yeah, so I wanted the groove, like I said, just to be a very sort of strong, confident, fast-paced groove. And yeah, I'll just play a little bit of that just to get the idea of it. Yeah, so it sort of continues through there, and then what I did, I used this little trick where I sort of created this custom ambient sound using the synth riff, and it sort of has this very just sort of large, echoey sort of sound that sort of captures the size of the environment that I sort of wanted to show inside of this piece, and it sort of basically carries on for the whole thing. It only changes at the second section where the chord progression changes slightly, but that's the only change it has throughout the whole thing, and it's very consistent. The next part of the groove is sort of where the big sort of shock and surprise of the environment and the city is sort of died down a little bit, and I wanted to sort of imagine this person being obviously a foreigner to this place, and the people there aren't really, too happy about that. So they're sort of being chased down a little bit by, I guess, the police of this city. And I sort of wanted to have that fast-paced rush sort of in the groove a little bit. And I have these two melodies, one at this section and then one that comes in a little bit later. And they're quite similar, and they sort of capture that sort of excitement I wanted to have. So I'll just play a little bit just to get the idea. Yeah, so it's sort of, the groove in the melody really pushes the whole piece forward, and it sort of transitions a little bit as the original synth riff sort of builds up, and it's slowly, they're both coming together until the two melodies combine until the end of the section. So let's move forward to the next section. It's quite similar groove, but this is where the chord progression changes, where the rhythm of the chords and how they change is delayed to the last couple of beats of the measure, rather than it being more equal. So sort of just to defend sort of a big city, I sort of added in this ambient sound effect I got off YouTube. I sped it up and chopped it together to sort of get rid of some of the more notable sounds, so it's just a little bit more subtle. And then I created this sort of car horn sound that sort of plays on the rhythms, so it plays on the beat down, just sound sort of hidden a little bit in the mix, but it sort of adds in the ambience and sort of adds onto the environment of what the listener's going to be imagining when they hear it. And then another melody comes in, similar to the one played before, and it's sort of supposed to show the development of this sort of police chase type thing going through the city, with the car horns sort of incorporated in there, just to sort of mix all the elements together. And yeah, I'll play it a little bit. I'll play the bit over here because it's a little bit more notable, because there's a small key change. It actually moves up a half step for a couple of measures, and yeah, it sort of just adds to the energy of the groove. That was sort of the idea I had for it. And yeah, so I'll just play that to get the idea. Yeah, so all those elements coming together just in that section there, I think it's quite effective at establishing the environment and just the mood, with the key change and then with all the ambient sounds as well, sort of mixing them together. And now there's sort of a bit of a transition section here where the melody sort of echoes out for quite a bit, and it's sort of just to show the progression. And then at this point it's a little bit less clear as to where the direction's going, because the original melody is slowly coming back, but the groove doesn't fully match with it. And I sort of wanted to have this as the character is sort of maybe losing confidence as to where they're going, and the people chasing them are maybe catching up, and they start to build a bit more of an advantage as they're more familiar with the environment, and the main character has no idea where they're going. But yeah, so it's sort of just the same groove, but then the original melody comes back just to sort of bring all the different elements together. It sort of ends with, I added a few more sound effects, and it sort of ends with this, everything sort of slowing down and coming to a quite abrupt stop. And that's meant to show the character finally getting caught by these people. And yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. So just play the ending bit, and then that should be most of the song there, so. Yeah, so lots of elements there, but it's quite effective at showing the direction, or lack of this character, and everything sort of shutting down at the end and just coming to a stop with all the elements sort of fading out. And yeah, I think that's where they're going to be left off at the end of this month, and I guess the rest will be revealed in September. So yeah, I'll be back in a month to explain what happens then, and yeah, I guess until then, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok to keep up to date every day with the updates, and yeah, that's about it.